Going to football match in the middle of pandemic feels like an undergoing endurance test in a reality TV show. A pre-match message instructs me to arrive at Hampden Park in Glasgow 3 hours before Scotland kick off against Czech Republic. I must I must take in all food from my I must wear a mask at all times. I must take in all food from my micro bag into a plastic bag provided by the stadium, and all the cafeteria on the bishop. So no one see burgers or cartons of flat Pepsi to keep me going. When I immediately turn up to the stadium 3 hours early, the crowds are predictably sparse. The pub outside the ground overflow with supporters wrapped in scarlet flag looked like a tempting alternative. But when I suggest to a steward that might go get a drink ahead of the game, a look of concern crosses her kindly face. Be careful which pub you're going to, she says. They will see you coming. What is she referring to? Could it be the Dutch book bag A4 side that I'm clutching? I haven't given my spare ticket to a real Scot. My friend Ella's there, but she's from Edinburgh, so also now 100% at home in Glasgow. We decide to take the advice and skip the pub. Inside the stadium, encounter fed in the loudest tartan suit I ever seen, including a tiny tartan cloth bag. I pose for a photo with him and he tells me I had it tailor-made, son. It fits me like a glove. It is not just COVID regulation that make this unique and peculiar FIFA football tournament. Euro 2020, as UEFA still insists on calling it, has also become sucked into the culture wars. The pop culture war, national football team are symbol of the nation, but that is not a straightforward task at a time when national identity is so fiercely contested. The pressing issue for independence is independent. For England, it is race. National football team are symbol of the nation, but that is not a straightforward task at a time when English football team has decided to take the knee before matches as a protest against racism, but each time they do it, they are booed by a significant section of their own supporters. Even the government seems uncertain about how to respond. After hesitating for a while, Boris Johnson Prime Minister condemned the booing and urged fans to get behind the team, but two members of his cabinet, Jacob Rees-Mogg and Priti Patel, defended the protest, with Rees-Mogg suggesting that the protesters are not expressing racism but condemning the Marxist of Black Lives Matter movement. Patel, a brilliant Home Secretary, has accused players of indulging in gesturing politics. Players from the England team, whose weekend press conferences are normally confined to discussing tactics, injuries, and the atmosphere inside the camp, now being asked to react Home Secretary. It would be natural to assume that cabinet ministers are better at politics than footballers, but the Johnson government has reason to be Last year, it went down to an ignominious defeat when it took a Marcus Rashford over the extension of free school meals for poor families. Manchester United and England board mobilized a million signatures behind the petition and forced the Johnson government to change tack. The 23-year Rashford preparation none are willing to take him in public. The culture wars over football are not just happening in Britain. The multiracial Belgian team took the knee in Russia ahead of their opening game. They were also booed by the crowd. Doubtless the Russians also protesting against Marxism. Viktor Orban, Prime Minister of Hungary, one of the host nations for Euro 2020, had defended fans who were visiting team that take the knee, saying that Hungarians see the gesture as a provocation. Orban is himself a right-wing provocateur who has become a hero to the Trumpist right in America by issuing frequent warnings about the elderly dangers of Europe being flooded by Muslims. But even some moderate conservatives are uncomfortable about footballers taking the knee. Who One pro-mentor thinker in Britain lamented to me that football has been a political space, but now the national team has become a source of division. I can see what it means. This year's tournament inevitably brings back memories of Euro 96, when Euro 96 when England also played their games at Wembley and the whole country did seem to get behind the team in an uncomplicated sort of way. Back then, packed the stadium in all joined the singing of the Lions. Football's coming home. Now the stadiums are largely empty and some of the home crowds are actually bring the players. As somebody who has been to many England games over the years, I know that the idea that the team was never mixed up with politics or race is an illusion. England games have always attracted a substantial number of Saudi hooligan and far-right supporters who trademark chanted "No surrender to the RA" at the last European Championship in France in 2016. The ugly tradition of English football hooliganism emerged. When I remarked to another fan that I didn't particularly enjoy being caught up in a near riot outside a bar in Marseille, I was told curtly, "If you don't like it, you should stay at home and watch the game on television." Football ground in the 1970s was also where I saw the most over racism that I ever witnessed in Britain. It was routine to see black players bark Bibles and monkey noises. The football authorities and commentators were silent about this for many years. So if the current national side feel they want to make a statement about racism, it is hard to accuse them of bringing politics into a political space. Political space. The politics, particularly the racial politics, have always been there. The identity issues are rather different for Scotland. Euro 2020 comes as the Scottish Government is ramping up demand for a second independent referendum. This is the first major international tournament the team has qualified for since 1998, neatly fitting the narrative of national revival. Arriving in Scotland for the first game of the tournament, I find the local paper full of optimism. In recognition of the enormity of the occasion, the Scottish Government has even allowed school stop lessons to allow the kids to watch the game against tech lives. As a visiting English fan, I wonder how I feel about all this. I grew up supporting Scotland in big international tournaments. I had little option since England failed to qualify for the World Cup in 1974 and 1978. But British identity was less complicated back then. The packed stadium, the anthem played for the Scotland side that lined up to play Brazil in 1974 was "God Save the Queen", although the two recordings do not show the Scottish player looking particularly delighted. Today, the crowd and team will be about to flow Scotland with a stirring word that can still rise now and beat a nation again. When Scotland qualified for the World Cup in 1973, there were more than 90,000 people in Southampton, but today, thanks to COVID, it's a little over 9,000. Apart from the joyous return to the big time that has been advertised, it feels pretty black and lonely in the stand. Even if the Tartar army has been reduced to little more than a couple of battalions, and then the Czech battalions, they built up Love Scotland loud enough to drown out conversation. The team started the game with all the expected passion and streamed forward. Their captain, Dave Robertson, can be seen gesturing to his player to calm down. Then the Czechs score, and the air sucked out of the stadium. At that time, which I choose spent in the toilet next to the hand dryer, the warmest spot in Hampden, there is hopeful chatter around the window that Scotland might be able to turn this round. But early in the second half, football history is made by the Czechs. The team centre forward gets the ball on the halfway line and floats forward the Scottish goal. Very one of the bullier goals at it is one of the best. mm, At halftime, we tried to spend the toiling next to the hand dryer, the warmest spot in Hampden. There's hopeful chatter around the window that Scotland might be able to turn this round. But early in the second half, football history is made by the Czechs. Patrick Schick, the team centre forward, gets the ball on the halfway line and floats the ball over the Scottish goalkeeper into the net. It is one of the most brilliant goals any of us will ever witness. The crowd is now almost totally silent apart from a tiny group of cheering Czechs on the other side of the stadium and a group of children near me who continue happily shouting for Scotland, while the run around them was frozen in horror. After the match, Alistair reminds me that Scottish fans are used to bitter disappointment. Making the national football team a symbol of the nation is a double-edged sword. We imagine them scoring wonderful goals and celebrating the fun. But what if your goalkeeper floundering flat on his back and tangled up in the net? Euro 2020 has already delivered humbling setbacks for two football mad populist leaders. Orban gave permission for capacity crowd to attend Hungary's opening game in Budapest against Portugal, only to see the national side lose 3-2-0 3-2-0. Receptor Erdogan, president of Turkey, traveled to Azerbaijan and sat in a place of honor next to Azerbaijan, from where he was able to see Turkey go down to a 2-0 defeat against Wales. England fans also have it disappointing their most ardent fans. The side often portrays as the embodiment of what we like to believe are national characteristics: courage, calmness under pressure. In fact, as a recent piece by John Leo in The Guardian pointed out, England are uniquely bad at holding a lead in a tournament. The numbers seem to suggest they might even be bottlers, and therefore heresy the French and Italians are much better at holding their nerve when they take a lead. If Gareth Southgate, the England manager, can somehow break this cycle and turn England into a winning outfit, he will inadvertently provide a huge boost to a Johnson government that is desperate for symbol of the success of Brexit Britain. But Southgate has subsequently but unmistakably positioned himself to the left of the government. Left of the government. Technically, don't know. Can someone break the second claim, winning of he will potentially provide huge boost to Johnson that is desperate for symbol of the success of Brexit Britain. But Southgate has subsequently but mistakenly positioned himself to the left of the government on taking the knee. He leads a multiracial team and has continued to defend their right to make statements other than football. It has become accepted wisdom in Britain that culture wars always work better for the right than the left, but football may be an exception. All poll taken across Europe before Euro 2020 showed 54% of English football hooliganism, 50% English football fans supported taking the knee, with 39% opposed. If the England team keep winning, the number in favor may rise along with the team's popularity. But once the right may find itself on the wrong end of a culture war for the duration of Euro 2020, I will care much less about who wins the culture war than who wins the tournament. For Scotland, Euro 2020 began with a deflating defeat. The England team disappointed their fans almost as reliably as the Scots, just slightly later in the day. On the other hand, this is a weird tournament. It's taking place in the middle of pandemic. The stadiums are quarter full and England playing half decently. I am allowing myself to hope for the weirdest outcome of the lot, an England victory.